What happens when people with learning disabilities need advice about the law?
Everyone should be able to get advice about the law from properly trained people, such as solicitors, legal executives and barristers. Because people with learning disabilities seem to face barriers, the Legal Services Board asked us to find out what happens when people with learning disabilities need advice about the law.
So, what did we do in the research? Well, firstly, 90 people with learning disabilities talked together in focus groups about their experiences. They came from different parts of England and Wales. Then we talked to 26 family members by phone about their experiences of using the law. And finally, we talked to 9 legal professionals about how they worked with people with learning disabilities.
What did the people with learning disabilities tell us in this study?
They didn't know where to get legal help.
And they didn't feel confident to contact the services themselves?
No, they didn't.
So if they had a problem, who did they talk to?
Families, support workers and people they know. Some people with learning disabilities need legal advice about things that affect everybody, like getting a divorce. That's when a couple agree to end a marriage. Making a will, that's when somebody says what happened to their money and possessions when they die. Doing probate, that's sorting out someone's money and possessions when they die. Some people need legal advice when they had been accused of a crime. But some people need legal advice on issues that were connected to the person having a learning disability, such as being a parent, being a victim of bullying and hate crime, and being treated unfairly because of their disability. Lots of people with learning disabilities did not know what legal services do or how to get advice about the law. The people they often turned to first did not always know that legal advice was available or where to get it. People who did get legal advice were worried that how much it would cost, especially with cuts to legal aid.
What family carers told us?
Family carers have told us that they use legal services to write wills to protect the future for their learning disabled relative. Family carers have told us that they use legal services to ensure that the care and support services are appropriate for their relative, including challenging decisions about care and support. Some family carers want to make sure that the Mental Capacity Act is used correctly. That's the legislation that supports people who find it difficult making decisions for themselves. We've found that family carers have struggled to find information in some cases, and that they've used websites, internet forums and other sources to try to access the legal services that they need.
What legal professionals told us?
Not many had worked with people with learning disabilities. They were not aware of the needs of people with learning disabilities. Some felt they could give a better service if they worked with learning disability organisations, including People First groups. This would also make it easier for people with learning disabilities to get advice about the law.
We found out some other things from our research too. We found out that people with learning disabilities and family carers found it very hard to get legal advice about benefits, care needs, or disagreements they might have with health services or councils. When people did manage to get advice from CABs, legal centres or legal aid services, this was often very helpful. But there was a lot of concern that they may not be able to get this kind of support in the future because of current funding cuts.
People also worried about the effect that taking legal action might have upon services they rely on.
The best legal services that people used explained the law in plain language, gave people extra time so they could talk about the issues that were important to them, and they had information that was easy to understand. When people did get good legal advice, they felt that it made them more confident. Often the problem was solved easily, and it made their lives better.
What needs to be done now?
From this research, we have learnt 4 things.
People need information that's easy for people to understand.
The people they talk to also need information about how to get legal advice for people with learning disabilities.
People who give legal advice need training.
Legal services and learning disability organisations need to work together to improve access for people with learning disabilities.
Mm-hmm.